This presentation by myself, Erin Phelan, will be based on What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School, Notes from a Street Smart Executive by Mark H. McCormack. So a little bit about the book and the author. So the author is Mark H. McCormack. He is a sports manager. Mark H. McCormack had a successful career in the sports management field, working with the likes of Arnold Palmer, among many other household names. His main secret to success: people sense. In this book, or more of a guide I should say, McCormack outlines specific lessons and examples of applying this people sense in different ways to become a well-rounded leader and thereby manager. Broken up into chapters separated by different concepts and lessons, the book walks you through personal struggles as a leader, as well as how to more effectively communicate and work with others. Overall, this book inspires and educates the reader to believe in themselves and directs them how to manage themselves through even the most frustrating of business scenarios through real-world examples. So these are the separate sections of the book. So the first is based on people, and within that section there are chapters based on reading people, creating impressions, taking the edge, and getting ahead. The next section is sales and negotiation. This section has chapters based on the problems of selling, timing, silence, marketability, negotiating, and stratagems. The next section and the final section is based on running a business. This section includes building a business, staying in business, getting things done, and entrepreneurship tips. And over here on the side is just a quote from the book. The need to be opportunistic, to think on your feet, again underscores the importance of tuning into people, of hearing not only what they are saying, but the larger and underlying meaning as well. It's again by McCormack. So here's a little bit about section 1. So again, it's based on people sense. People sense is arguably one of the most useful tools for any leader, especially in the business world, but it's not always so easy to attain. Mark McCormack, however, describes it as one of his most significant skills and aims to help the reader be able to say the same. The few chapters in the first section of the book advise the reader to become sensitive to the feelings and ideas of others and to understand the person you are working with to more successfully reach business goals. He describes leading through personal relationships and delving deeper than the face value of what people are saying to understand their true self in order to understand who you are dealing with, where they are coming from, and to predict an outcome. The book states, the real self, one's true nature, can't change color to suit its environment. In any ongoing business situation, sooner or later, either subliminally or out in the open, you are going to find out that you are dealing with that person's real self. Again, by McCormack. This also makes it important to consider your own true self and the person you are to those that work with you. Here is one of the main lessons of the first section of the book. This is watching people and reaching people, a 7-step plan. This is his personal thoughts and ideologies on the subject. So step 1, to listen aggressively. Step 2, to observe aggressively. Step 3, to talk less. Step 4, take a second look at first impressions. Step 5, take time to use what you've learned. Step 6, be discreet. Step 7, be detached. McCormack describes these as the 7 most fundamental of the many steps to reading people. Take the time to sit back and listen and focus on what people are saying, their body language, and how they are saying it. Don't blindly believe everything you first see or hear. Don't share everything, and learn to observe from a distance. So now we move on to the second section. This one is based on sales and negotiation and common sense. So in this section, sales and negotiation are seen as more than business transactions. It is more important to see the entire big picture. Instead, truly sell yourself, again reverting back to the idea of true self and believing in the power that holds. That being said, the idea of common sense comes up time and time again throughout this book. As with most everything else, leading becomes much simpler and more effective when it is used. Don't let fear get in the way, but don't be senselessly bold either. One idea discussed in this section pertains to the concept of timing and learning that it is sometimes best to wait. As the book states, bad news is seldom as bad as it first sounds, and most business disasters are rarely as disastrous as they first seem. So this third and final section is based on running a business. So taking all of what you've learned in the rest of the book and applying it to actually being like a manager and an ethical leader. So running a business. This section makes a distinction between being a leader and a manager and guides the reader on how to hone in on those leadership skills and become the most fair and effective manager. As we have discussed in class, ethical leadership makes a huge difference in the overall success and image of a company. This section delves into the nitty-gritty of how great leaders transfer those skills to being great managers. Through encouragement and diversity of talent and ideas, employee empowerment, positive reinforcement, addressing issues of ego, and understanding the importance of work-life balance, McCormack describes through personal experience what has helped him make such a grand impression on the business and sports world alike. So this is one of the main ideas from this section. So it basically has to do with how to be a great manager based on your own values and values that are important to other people. And so his quote is, "I have 4 general philosophies for dealing with employees. 1, pay them what they are worth. 2, make them feel that they are important. 3, make them think for themselves. 4, separate office life from social life." So again, that last one also goes back to that work-life balance that we discussed in class. So this is just a little bit of a review. So this book has been a great teacher of business scenarios for any student or leader ready to spread their influence and potential, as well as being a great book to pair with this course. It just so happened to somewhere hit on every topic discussed in class: personality types, working in a team, work-life balance, values, influential and ethical leadership, and managing versus leading. The setup of this book was interesting in that it was separated into short sections of only about a page or 2, making each concept incredibly easy to read and grasp, and making the book convenient and easier to read even when you don't even have a lot of time on your hands or just want to revisit it to quickly brush up on 1 or 2 of the lessons. This book is definitely one to recommend for anyone feeling unsure of themselves or their skills as a leader whatsoever. It is inspiring and highly educational. So again, a little bit about the setup of the book. It's probably it's about 200 to 300 pages, but it is cut up into short sections. So the sections are each about 100 pages, but then there's a little short chapters in it. They're about a page or 2 long, but they're with real life experiences from Mark McCormack's career. So it's pretty cool to hear about all the cool things that he did, as well as be able to learn from it. And he literally spells out the lessons that he learned through each of these scenarios. So it's definitely an interesting book, as well as it's been definitely well paired with this course, and just the lessons are definitely interesting. So I definitely recommend this book. So then this last slide is just my references. So that's it. Thank you for watching.